What is up, Hope Gen? I'm super excited to be with you guys today. If you don't know me, my name is Michael, all the way from across the church at Hope Kids. And our theme for this month is contentment. Contentment means learning to be okay with what you've got. And I hope you caught the key word in that sentence. The key word is learning, because it's actually a process. It's not like a Wizards of Waverly Place, whoopah, all of a sudden you're content and you're never going to be sad again. It's actually a thing that you've got to learn. Just like you learn to be good at a sport and you practice every week, you've got to practice being content. Practice being grateful. Practice being okay with what you've got. All right, so lately I've been reading the book of Exodus, and that's actually where today's message comes from the book of Exodus. Exodus is just, I think it's Latin, maybe it's Greek, but it means exit. I mean, that makes sense, right? Exodus, exit, sounds the same. And what the exit is about is it's about this nation called Israel exiting out of Egypt, because they were slaves to the Egyptians. Right, so a lot of times when you watch the History Channel, there's all kinds of like, whoa, the aliens built the pyramids. Who knows? Maybe it was the Israelites. I guess we'll never know. Anyways, that was such a sad joke. But we're going to move ahead, because God really did a massive thing in this book. He set the whole nation free from slavery. He called this dude named Moses to be their leader, and Moses helped every single Israelite go from being a slave to being free. And so God really was with the Israelites as they were walking into the promised land. That's right, God actually promised them a piece of land. The Bible says a land that overflows with milk and honey. So there was a destination for them. After they came out of Egypt, they were heading somewhere awesome. And God really provided for them. By day, God actually sent a cloud so that they wouldn't be boiled in the hot sun of a desert. You know what I'm saying? So you would think, after the way that God provided for them, that they would be pretty content, right? They'd be like, yeah, man, we're no longer slaves. We're just out here on our way to an awesome place. And on the way, we're even got some shade to walk in. And by night, we've got some fire to keep us warm. Like, this is epic, right? Unfortunately not. This is actually more what the Israelites sounded like. They really weren't happy. And the reason they weren't happy is a reason that a lot of you boys would know super, super well. They were hungry. Even me just saying that is making me hungry. And this is what they said to Moses. We're reading from Exodus chapter 16, verse 3. We wish the Lord had put us to death in Egypt. Hold up. That's like the most dramatic sentence I've ever heard anyone say. We wish the Lord had put us to death in Egypt. That's quite dramatic. I'm not going to lie. Then they went on and said, over there in Egypt, we sat around pots of meat and we ate all the food we wanted. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a dream come true. Then they said, but you, Moses, have brought us into this desert. You must want this entire community to die of hunger. I mean, can you just see the 7-alarm levels of drama in this verse? I'm pretty sure Moses, just like me right now, was thinking like, really? Serious? You want to go back to Egypt where you were a slave instead of heading to the promised land that God's going to give you? I mean, really? But you know what? The thing is, the Israelites had the same problem that a lot of people today have. They focused on the negative. Even though God was blessing them, showing them favor, giving them a cloud by day, fire by night, all of these awesome things, they were only focusing on the negative. They could only see their problem. And that's true for us. Sometimes we've got an awesome school with awesome teachers. We go to a great church. Our parents are awesome. But there's this one thing in our life that's not maybe that awesome. And we keep looking into it. We just can't get over it. Can I encourage you, Hope Gen? Let's change our perspective. Let's try and learn how to be content by actually looking at the positive things around us. So, this is what God went ahead and did. He told Moses in verse 4, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people must go out each day and have them gather enough bread for the day. And so the next morning, exactly that happened. And when the Israelites looked all around them, they actually saw what looked like frost on the floor. But it wasn't frost. It was actually a sort of bread that they called manna or manna. Manna, bruh, whichever you prefer, American version. Anyways, that's what they saw. And the Bible said it actually tasted sweet like honey. Now, that sounds amazing. Bread that tastes like honey, I mean, that's beautiful. The Israelites were probably like, whoa. Don't ask me why I did that so dramatically. Anyways, and even more, God also gave them some meat. All the guys getting excited, and the girls even. I mean, we all like a braai. Doesn't matter how old, young, whatever you are. I'm pretty sure you like braaiing. And God sent them birds that came and flew to their camp in the desert, which they could then go ahead and eat KFC style. Let's go. Let's go. And so, God provided food for Israel, like in a crazy cool way. But did you catch? He kind of gave them a rule along with that. He told them, only collect as much as you need for the day. Only collect as much as you need for the day. Do you think all the Israelites listened to this command? No, they didn't. And some of them tried to collect more than they need so they can store up some leftovers. I love leftovers. Leftover pizza is like the best thing to have in your fridge. It just makes my life. But God specifically told them not to do that. And when they did, the leftovers that they kept actually spoiled. Like the next day, it was just like gross. It was rotten. It had maggots in. Like yeah. Like I don't want to go into too much detail, but it was nasty. All right, it was nasty. It was really nasty. And so they learned a valuable lesson that we can learn as well. Listen to God. The truth is, sometimes something might feel right or look right, but God said it isn't right. Getting leftovers, getting some extra food, that seems like a good thing. But God said no. And so we need to be the same, Hope Gen. We need to listen to God. Sometimes you might think it's a good idea, but pray about it and ask God first. Because God's ways are not our ways. Sometimes we have to ignore logical thinking. We have to ignore our feelings. We have to ignore what we think is good. And we actually have to listen to what God says. Great stuff. Now, you would think, after getting food, they were probably happy, right? No, the Israelites kept on complaining. The next complaint they had is that they were thirsty. And so this is what they said to Moses in Exodus chapter 17. Why did you bring us out of Egypt? Here they go again with this 7-alarm drama. Did you want us and our children and our livestock to die of thirst? I mean, I can hear the 7-alarm jingle. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do. I mean, what? Like, oh, come on, guys. Really? Although being thirsty is tough. But anyways, once again, even though God was blessing them, God was coming through for them, they found something to complain about. They even wanted to throw stones at Moses. And so this is what God said to Moses. Exodus chapter 17, verse 5. Go out in front of the people. Take some of the elders of Israel along with you, and take in your hand the walking stick you used when you struck the Nile River. Go. I will stand there in front of you by the rock at Mount Horeb. Hit the rock, and then water will come out of it for the people to drink. And so Moses listened, and that's exactly what happened. When he smacked that rock with his stick, whoosh, it was like the fountain of youth. It was just like whoosh, water everywhere. And once again, the people were happy because God provided. But you know what? Eventually they started complaining again. And there's a really valuable lesson that we can learn from the Israelites. Their problem was that they were too focused with the past and the future, and they didn't appreciate what they had right in front of them. They just didn't. And so that's really what today's contentment message is all about. It's about not missing out what you have now. Don't miss out on what you have now. Don't be like the Israelites. Even though the Israelites were on their way to something amazing and God was doing all kinds of amazing things around them, they kept thinking about what could have been. Oh, what if we stayed in Egypt? Then we would have food and water. Oh, what if we stayed in Egypt? Come on, man. We need to focus on what we have now. Because the truth is, God is blessing you right now. Maybe it's a little bit hard to see. Can I encourage you, go ahead and try and find out. See, look at your life. I promise you, you will see some ways that God is blessing you. Even the fact that you woke up this morning and you've got breath in your lungs, that is a blessing from God. Some people don't have that blessing. There's some sick people out there, and today might be their last day on earth, but God decided to bless you with the gift of life. And so that's really what it's all about. Don't be like the Israelites and think of what could have been, what should have been. Don't spend too much time worrying about the future, but rather try and be grateful for what you have right now. The people in the room with you, your friends, your family, your school, your teacher, man, even your cat or your dog. Try to be grateful for that. Let's close our eyes and God, I thank you so much that you are with us. And that's the truth. The truth is that you are blessing us. Even right now, as we sit at home or in Hope Gen, you are blessing us. And I pray that we won't miss out on that. We won't spend too much time thinking about what could have been or should have been, or too much time worrying about the future, but instead, we'll be grateful for what we have right now. I promise that through this whole contentment series, that you'll teach us how to be content, that we'll actually go ahead and learn how to be content. In Jesus' name, amen. Hope Gen, I hope you have a beautiful week. We'll see you again next week. Go ahead and think of things you can be grateful for today. Peace.